What's up, team? This video is going to be different to our usual videos. This one is a follow-up of a previous video I did about men's mental health. This time around we'll be having a special guest, 𝓫𝓾, we know him as Tegz, and he's the brother of 𝓵𝓪, 𝓐𝓫𝓾 from our crew. Now he's within the industry, the health industry, and more dealing with addiction, but he does deal with quite a bit of mental health issues within that profession. So he'll be giving us a little insight on what are the triggers of mental health for men, what are the coping mechanisms, what we can do as friends and family to support them, and where you can go for resources and sources of information. So I hope you guys get good information and get some ideas from this video, and hoping that this will reach out to many of you guys out there that are struggling with mental health or even difficulties. Alright, 𝓲𝓪 Tegz.
𝓲𝓪.
How are you, bro?
Alhamdulillah, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good man, good. So yeah, I've done this, sorry man. I've done this video previously, and it was all about me, right? It's all about how I cope with it and what I could have done. So this time around, I wanted someone that's in the field, like yourself, to just give us a bit of insight about mental health, men's mental health, and what we could do as men, and where we can go for support. So before we go to that, can you introduce yourself and explain to us and the audience what you do in the community and what your background is?
Basically, I'm a rehabilitation counsellor.
Right.
So I mainly specialise in addiction, so substance use and behavioural addictions, but I also work in disability too.
Right.
But a lot of my work sort of, coincides with mental health. So it's important that, we sort of speak up about it and just sort of fill in the gaps within men's mental health, because it's such a sort of area that doesn't really get spoken about too often.
No, it doesn't. And what's your background, man? Like, what did you study? What was your...
Yeah, so I studied, a Bachelor of Health Science.
Right.
I did a Master's in Rehabilitation Counselling.
Right.
And I'm currently doing another Master's in Addictive Behaviours.
So we call him AKA the Masters.
Yeah, man.
AKA the Masters. Yeah, all right. Well, tell us, man. Tell us, what are the triggers? Because recently, there's a famous football player / coach, Paul Green, that recently, took his own life. And I almost feel like people weren't really talking about it. They're sort of treading on thin ice.
Yeah.
But what are the symptoms nowadays, and how can we identify it sooner in ourselves and in our mates?
Yeah, 100%. Look, there's heaps of work out there in terms of identifying the symptoms. So much research out there, but one of the more common symptoms is, mood swings, being socially withdrawn, not attending certain events, increase in anxiety or depression, feeling like, prolonged times of feeling sad and really down. Like they're one of the most common ones.
Yeah, right.
But look, the triggers can come from anywhere, man. It could come from employment opportunities or employment issues, It can come from natural disasters, and man, even just coming on the back of like the heart of COVID. Like COVID, we've seen how many people, lose their businesses, and as a result, it led to marital issues and ultimately, divorces and separations and suicide, man. Like it's full on, man.
It was that bad, huh?
Yeah, it was that bad. And even based on statistics, 6 people per day are dying of suicide
in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia.
Wow.
So that's a big figure.
Wow.
Right there.
What about yourself? What have you seen, without going into specifics? What have you seen? What have you had to deal with in the last 2-3 years with COVID when it comes to mental health?
Oh man, I can tell you, from a clinical setting with men's mental health, is that you sort of see people socially withdrawn. Right. And men in particular, we find ourselves coping in different ways. And some of these ways are, substance use. People getting into, for example, alcohol, is one of the most common ones. Substances or drugs like ice, you know, cocaine, even marijuana, heroin too, and man, like it's something that, you know, for us as men, it's very hard to deal with and, you know, hard to speak up about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess the next point is, you know, what are the coping mechanisms as men? What can we do individually, and possibly if you can touch on what we could do for our mates if we notice these things.
Yeah, I think what we can do, look, man, it comes back down to a number of things. One is, first of all, the language. You know, us, you know, growing up, we sort of grew up in an environment or in a home where, like, possibly, you know, our fathers didn't really model that behavior or vulnerability. So we always live under that saying, like, you know, men don't cry.
No. And we've got big biceps.
Yeah, we've got big biceps. You know what I mean? Men don't cry. No, we're weak. You know, you know, it's like, man up, bro. Come on, man. Like, it's nothing, man. Like, you know, so it's all about, if we want to be able to minimize mental health, it's all about creating more awareness of it. Just speaking about it and just, you know, finding, you know, a person where you can be vulnerable. Right. Just talking about, look, man, like, you know, are you okay? And if you're not okay, it's okay not to be okay, man. But, you know, I'm here and I've got your back. You know, so number one is that. So creating that, you know, that safe space for vulnerability. Number two is the language, man.
Language,
you know,
right.
Don't put someone down and say, bro, you're man up, bro. You know, it's important to just, you know, use a sort of like a safe language for them where they can communicate in a way where they're not feeling sort of judged or looked down upon.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that's important.
Yeah, right.
Even, you know, some other coping strategies too is going for a walk, man.
Going for a walk. That's simple, though.
Bro, that's simple. You know, that's simple. It's not meant to be like a permanent thing.
Right.
But, you know, in saying that, giving you that interim solution where you walk out, go for a walk and just switch off.
Yeah.
Able to reset and you sort of ground yourself you know, in the environment and in that moment, man.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and then you've got you know, your activities like you know, the gymming. You know,
I noticed you and your brother, you guys were naturally born like this, huh?
Nah.
Extra buffed.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but look, the gym as well, man. Like some of us, like, you know, us as men, like we struggle to cope.
Yeah. Right.
When we're you know, when we're completely stressed out, is we got to find a way to sort of manage our anger and regulate our emotions, man. And one of the places where we can do that is in the gym.
In the gym, yeah. You know? Well, you guys can probably see it behind him. I've got a gym set. That's for me when I get angry with work or, you know, the kids or something. I lift heavier weights. All right, man. What about you know, like with us, Team Kingies and the boys, we always talk about, you know, our mateship and the friendship that we have, and having a good clique of friends, a group of friends that are positive. Yeah. But also the fishing. You know, we talk about it, but is there something like scientific behind it? Is there something that's proven that helps?
You know what, man? You know what? I think for the most part, just being with a group of people, like-minded people, is that you're able to live in. You're able to sort of, you know, engage in an experience where it's positive, and it's also a way where you can just sort of de-stress. Yeah. You know, and being in that, it's you know, you're sort of feeling the inclusiveness within that social environment. Yeah. You know, so you know, you're feeling supported. You get to have a laugh. You know, you muck around with the boys, and you're doing something that you love. Yeah. You know, even just going near the water, it's actually therapeutic. So it's called mindfulness. And practicing that mindfulness is, you know, being in touch with the nature, with the environment. So, you know, the moment when you're swinging the rod and you're hearing the sounds of the waves, you know, and the waves crashing onto the rocks, and just feeling that breeze, like it gives you a little bit of that calmness. So, you know, it is, you know, it is therapeutic. Yeah.
I mean, I think other things that people are into at the moment is, like, you know, cycling. Yeah. I think there's something in that also, but anything that's positive and not destructive, like alcohol and things like that. All right, where can people go? What's the resources out there that men can reach out to at any first sign of mental health issues?
I think the most important thing is identifying your formal and informal supports.
Right.
Formal is, you know, go to a professional, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all about that stigma, and you know, we didn't really touch base on that, but that's one of the biggest barriers to accessing support or reaching out for help.
What's that stigma?
Stigma.
Right.
You know, so you know, feeling like, you know, men don't talk about these things. Men don't seek out for counselling. Men don't share these type of you know, vulnerabilities. And so, you know, I can tell you, making that first step will be, you know, the best thing that's ever happened. You know, being able to speak to a professional about the problems. Number two is, you know, for example, you might have some community groups out there, whether it's connecting to your spirituality, or for example, any sort of groups, like, you know, you have AA and NA meetings for people who are struggling with alcohol or substance use. So those are out there. But you know, more for when you're at crisis is contacting you know, Lifeline and Beyond Blue. You know, they're out there and they're 24/7.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, it is important.
I think that's got well known now, Beyond Blue. There's another, the Black Dog Institute.
And that too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a couple there. What I'll do is I'll put the links on the description. What about yourself? What organisations do you work with, Tegz?
Yeah. So I work for a culturally appropriate service. It's a drugs and alcohol counselling service called 𝓫𝓾. So I provide specialised counselling, case management, and, you know, referral pathways to other services.
Right.
That's for individual and group counselling too, and family therapy. And I also specialise in behavioural support for disability. So, you know, sort of providing interventions for individuals with complex, multiple complexities. So it could be mental health, physical disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and yeah, man, it's
that's
cool.
awesome work, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, bro.
It's one of those things that people don't have as part of their career path. You know, we need more of that in this day and age, and it's not ones that people recognise as a career path. So if any kids are watching out there, that's one career path that's beneficial, not just for you, but for society in general. Is there anything else you want to pass on a message to the audience?
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
I think the most important thing is just reach out, you know, talk to one of the boys, talk to someone who you're able to, you know, feel like you're in a safe environment where you're not being judged, where you feel like you're not being confronted, and you know, speaking up is allowing you to take the things that have been sort of packed in your chest and over your shoulders, and just being able to release all that sort of experience, the lived experiences that you've gone through, or traumatic experiences, to talk about it, and just, you know, really look for, you know, positive experiences in your life from that point.
Yeah. All right, man. Really appreciate your time, and I'm sure the audience appreciate it also. Hopefully we can have you on again, man, and you know, maybe something a bit more specific or something. But
sounds good.
Really proud of you, and keep up the good work, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks.
Salam.
Just to summarize Tegz's comments and points, if you are finding things difficult, reach out to a friend or a family member. For the family member and the friend, make sure you're speaking and using the right language, but also being inclusive. Not that old school stuff where, you know, just get on with it or get over it, be a man. None of that type of language. You need to be inclusive and understand that this is something serious and something that could be life and death. Having a hobby and having good friends is important. As Tegz said, you know, you can go for a walk, but fishing is perfect. I mean, that's the way I see it, and that's the way how, you know, all my mates see it. But fishing with your mates is a perfect way to be able to connect, but also reflect and give you that calmness that you need. Finally, if you do need to reach out, and you know, there are resources out there that you can tap into, and those will be provided in the description. Okay guys, if you want to follow us for more fun or information that will help you, such as this video, please click subscribe and turn on that notification button. This will help support us to be able to continue to produce and provide you this type of information and fun and entertainment. I'll see you in the next video.
Oh, you've
can also talk about fishing addiction.
Fishing addiction. Fishing addiction. There's no such thing. Is that good? Can you see? All right, bismillah. All right, assalamualaikum, mate.
Salam.
Start again. Start again. That's a wrap. The two staunch brothers are here. The two staunch brothers, bro. We're gonna lift some weights now. It's really pumped.